second lines defined. The main line, or the first line, is the main section of the parade with the members of the Social Aid and Pleasure Club and the brass band. The second line consists of people who follow the main line to enjoy the music, engage with the community, and perform the act of second lining. Second lining is a free-form style of dancing. Its origins is traditional West African ring dancing. The second line tradition was brought to New Orleans by enslaved Africans, and when you look at it, you could tell it's very tribal. It became a Sunday tradition for Africans in New Orleans, especially in various processions, including funerals. Now, it don't have to be Mardi Gras or a repast to celebrate the life of a loved one to have a second line. You could throw a second line for a birthday party, a wedding reception. Shit, you could throw a second line for the sake of second line. A second line. So what would be a better reason other than Mother's Day to throw a second line to celebrate the mothers of the community? And on Sunday, May 12, 2013, that's exactly what a group of individuals in a 7-ward neighborhood did. But the incident that happened at that second line would shock the city of New Orleans.
All-out manhunt for 3 suspects who police say opened fire on people marching in a Mother's Day parade in New Orleans on Sunday. 19 people were wounded, including 2 children. Some of the people at the parade said the situation was pure chaos.
My family was second lining in the parade, and then all of a sudden it just stopped, and everybody started running, and we wondering what's going on, and they shooting, and they say children was shot and everything. It's just time to stop with the violence. It's not cool. It's Mother's Day. Who want to lose a child on Mother's Day?
Police combed through a neighborhood stricken by violence on what should have been a joyous celebration. Hundreds were in the crowd at the annual Mother's Day Second Line Parade when shots rang out, striking a dozen people. The youngest victim was just 10 years old. Police say more than 10 officers were patrolling the second line. They saw 3 men run from the scene after shots rang out down Frenchman Street toward Claiborne Avenue. The gunmen are still on the loose. It's the area's second shooting in a week. Now neighbors are pleading, stop the violence.
I don't like this that happen around here. And then on the Mother's Day and the children involved with it too. You know why we can't have peace.
Now, for those of y'all that's from New Orleans, y'all know some of the dangerous situations you can find yourself in the middle of attending the second line. But for those of y'all that's not from New Orleans, let me give you a little insight. See, the thing is, a lot of these second lines go on simultaneously in different wards throughout the city. So if a particular individual looking for his enemy and one of those second lines marching through his ward, he might just find himself conveniently following that second line. And if he spot his enemy, there it is, a recipe for disaster. Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking that don't make no sense. Well, if you hear shots go off, what you gonna do? Run with the crowd. That's exactly what the shooter gonna do. Run with the crowd right along with you. The late New Orleans rapper Lil Derek explained a scenario like this in one of his legendary songs titled Beef Ain't Never Squashed.
You ain't hiding nothing, and they know where you hang. So you go to the second line, you ain't worrying about them. You ain't scrapped or nothing, they got guns with them. You spot them, they spot you, you feeling a little nervous. The police around, so you ain't really worried. All the while, they about to leave you dead on the ground. Bust you up, when the law come, run with the crowd.
Man, I got the hood.
It was first reported that 19 people were shot in that incident. It was later found out to be 20 people, including his intended target and 2 kids. One of those kids was shot not even a full year prior in a terrible incident totally separate from this one that took the innocent life of 5-year-old Breonna Allen and a 33-year-old mother of 3, Shawana Pierce. Both were hit by stray bullets.
Kennard Allen is just days away from his 11th birthday, but celebrating is the last thing on this 10-year-old's mind, now suffering from a graze wound to his right cheek from one of many bullets fired into a second-line parade crowd Sunday full of innocent men, women, and children. A nightmare repeated not even 1 year later. Here's Kennard last May, suffering then from 2 gunshot wounds, one to his neck, the other to his leg.
They just started shooting. They want everybody to start running.
Shot twice then when shots rang out during his 10th birthday party in Central City. His cousin, 5-year-old Breonna Allen, was killed in that shooting. Sunday's shooting, an all too familiar pain for a family still trying to heal from last year's tragedy.
You done shot innocent people, grazed innocent people, children. somebody's mother, somebody's father, my kid. I just wanted for it to turn itself in.
The New Orleans Police Department eventually identified a suspect, 19-year-old Akeem Scott. He was identified shortly after the surveillance footage was released to the public. He was later found hiding out in New Orleans East 3 days after the incident.
All right, some major breaking news coming into the newsroom right now. New Orleans police have captured the Mother's Day parade shooting suspect, 19-year-old Akeem Scott. We have some exclusive video to show you right now. That's him right there being taken into custody by authorities right now. This is exclusive video only from Channel 6 right now. Scott being taken from the home in the 7000 block of Kingsport Boulevard. That's in the Little Woods neighborhood of New Orleans East. You can see members of New Orleans SWAT team there on the scene. Now, this arrest was made at 10 o'clock, but he was taken out of this house around 11 o'clock Wednesday night. U.S. Marshals and NOPD Special Task Force assisting in this arrest.
His older brother Sean Scott was arrested the next day and charged with accessory to the shootings. One of the shooting victims, Deborah Cotton, moved from Los Angeles to New Orleans right before Hurricane Katrina and dedicated herself to covering second lines, posting time and routes of the second lines on NOLA.com. She suffered the worst wounds of the 19 victims, losing a kidney and a gallbladder and suffering damage to her stomach, intestines, and pancreas.
I was only shot once, but it ripped diagonally up. So it went into my hip and came up like right below my heart. So it took out several organs and partial organs.
The single gunshot wound resulted in multiple hospital visits and more than 30 surgeries.
She refused to take the stand and testify in court. She said she wanted to help the brothers, Akeem in particular.
She reached out to the man many people in her situation would never want to see again, her shooter, and found out he faced several issues as a child.
He had brothers, older brothers, but they were all, in the selling drugs. That was the family business. I am in contact with him, and I'm trying to help him to find ways to stay encouraged and to have a positive impact on the environment around him.
Akeem Scott was sentenced to life in prison plus 10 years for his role in the Mother's Day shooting and a racketeering case involving 3 of his brothers. Prosecutors said the brothers were members of the F&D gang, Sharford, Frenchman, and Durbany. Sean Scott was sentenced to 40 years for his role in the shooting. His older brother, Travis Scott, was sentenced to life plus 10 years, and another brother, Stanley Scott, was sentenced to 40 years. On May 2nd, 2017, Deborah Cotton lost her life due to complications from the wounds she received during the Mother's Day shooting. She was 52 years old, and in true New Orleans fashion, to honor her name and legacy, they threw her a second line. And there you have it. Life goes on in the Big Easy. Until the next Sunday, in another second line. Rest in peace, Deborah Cotton. Until next time, this is Eyewitness Hip Hop, signing off. Holla.